Thank you. Well, obviously, I didn't plan this at all, but I'm glad I'm not a grammarian. I'd rather be up here nervous than trying to protect your guys' speech. Thank you, Toastmasters. 2013 was not a good year. My son and his wife and his brand new daughter just moved in from New York. My mother-in-law, who's been in and out of the hospital about 5 times in that year. So we planned to go to Alaska, and we actually had to cancel it because of my mother-in-law's health. So we said, well, I'm going in 2014, and if I'm going, I want it big. So we planned this halibut trip. So in July, we went to Alaska. Now, my son is a chauffeur. So we get off the plane, and here's my son holding our names out. We get off the plane, we go to our destination. We actually stayed at some friend's house. We were there probably about 6 days. First day we get there, his son hands us a little envelope. In this envelope was our allowance. We used to do this for our kids when we were taking them on trips. So he gave us an allowance. The first day we were there, we went horseback riding. When I go horseback riding, I look at all the horses, and I find the biggest one. And I got on the biggest horse, and they're usually the stubbornest. So horseback riding in Alaska is beautiful. You get to see all the mountains around. So I got to go horseback riding. So it was time to go fishing. So we had to drive to Stewart. Now I probably said Stewart, but it's not Stewart, it's Stewart. So we were on the way driving. It's about a 2.5-hour drive from where we were at. So we started driving. Before we got there, we went to an animal refuge. In this refuge, they had buffalo, bear. But at that time, I was suffering from a back problem, and my legs would go numb. So I didn't enjoy that at all. Plus, in July, I'm used to summer hot weathers. In Alaska, it's pouring down rain, 64 degrees. It was actually kind of nice. So we go into Stewart. Now we're staying at a bed and breakfast. This bed and breakfast is just basically an old house. Looks like it's been there since the 40s, but it was a nice house. So we go in, we get our room, and so we're undoing our luggage. Open up the back, I grab my luggage, I pulled it out. I got to thinking there for a second, and I go, Jeremiah, did you get your mom's bag? He goes, no. Why? Because it's not in here. So it doesn't take, I was 34 years of marriage to know exactly what's going to happen the next 30 minutes. So we go and I tell her, we forgot your bag. Well, 30 minutes gone by, plan comes up. No problem. We'll just go to the local Walmart, buy a few clothes for her, not a problem. But there is no Walmart in Stewart. The only thing there is a True Value hardware store. Yeah, you can get maybe some wool socks, but that's about it. There was a couple other stores. So we came up with a plan. The bed and breakfast actually had washer and dryer, so we just washed her clothes, and the next day she wore the same clothes, but they were clean. So we get up the next day, we go in to the harbor where our boat is. We get in, and it's pouring down rain still. Found out there was a storm out in the ocean, and you can't go halibut fishing. So they gave us 2 options. We can go out in the bay, do salmon fishing, or they can refund our money. So most of the people says, well, let's go out there half a day. They refund us half our money, get an experience. So we go out there for we go fishing. Well, we're sitting on the boat, and the captain goes, guess who else is on the boat? 2014 Super Bowl winner was the Seahawks. The guy says, we got about 6 players from the Seahawks on this boat. That was exciting. So we get on the boat. Everyone gets on the boat. We take off, and we're out in the bay. We're probably not in the bay in about 3 minutes, maybe less. My wife looks at me. 34 years of marriage, it didn't take long. I emptied out my Ziploc bag of all my snacks and gave it to her. Well, my wife is very car sick. Well, she gets seasick even quicker. So she was seasick just moments after we took off. My son was sitting by her, and I thought he got up because he couldn't stand her, doing her business in a Ziploc bag. But found out he went out there to chum the sea, basically. So we get to our destination. It took us about 45 minutes to get there in the bay. Everyone runs out, gets their fishing poles. We sat in there for a few minutes, and my wife kind of settled down. So we go out there. They instruct us how to fish on these great big poles. So we go out and we're fishing. And because all the back of the boat was used, I had to go to the front of the boat. Ooh. So the front of the boat, where all the bobbing is, well, it took about 45 minutes, and I was dry heaving, and I was feeding the fish too. And when you're fishing, so you're allowed 6 salmons. So we got 6. My wife, being sick as a dog, caught 4. Now I had 5 and I need 1 more. I'm not feeling good. So most of the people are kind of eating lunch and whatnot. So I go, because we're fishing good, we stay out there a whole day. I'm tired. So anyway, I put a line down, and I finally put a line down, and I got something. I pulled up, and I made my fishing pole go like a cue. I wind it up, and it snapped the line. It was a big fish. Found out that she packed her bag and left it on the bed. But that's my fishing trip in Alaska.